Great. So today we have a real treat. In our series of Clutch AO, we have Vlado Platenik, who is probably too modest to say, but I stop using the word probably these days, the leading Grand Slam development coach. Nobody has taken more unranked, no money's in their bank account, wannabe ladies into Grand Slams and higher. So welcome, Vlado. And your new lady, I know you've been working with for a couple of years now, Lulu Sun, is in the Australian Open. So welcome.
Hello, everybody.
What is your background and how come you get to an exalted position of world leading development coach?
I think it's coming from my past when I was one of the best juniors in the world, and at that time, the time was changing in my country, in Czechoslovakia. I must say that in the communist regime, we had very good system of sports development, and for sports, it was kind of uh, a good system, because once you were having results and you were one of the best players in your age, there was a lot of help from the federation. And then later on, after the Czechoslovakia split, they stopped funding us, and at that moment I was top 10 in the world junior, and they stopped funding us, and I kind of didn't get the help that I needed. There was no money. My father, he was a director of a high school with the 200 euro salary, so there was no way for
Wow.
him to support me financially. So it was very, very difficult times, because you do the sport the whole life, and you have some dreams, and so on, and it was very difficult times. So when I stopped playing, it was mostly because of no funding. Even I made the ranking of 380. Probably when I was 19 years old, I was 380 in the world, which was not bad. Playing just 1.5 year of the men's tournaments, but I have seen that it's almost impossible to make it alone. You need the good team. You need a good coach. You need a good fitness coach. I got injured a little bit. I couldn't play for 6 months, and yeah, so it was very difficult times. I didn't have
So
much support, even from my dad, which was very hard dad on me. So
yeah.
I understand he wanted the best for me, but it was too much pressure even from him. So when I started to do my coaching, most of the time I was trying to help young players, and that's why I really like the development part of.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How did you learn the craft of development? Because it's a different craft from picking up a ready-made top 10 and try and make them better.
Yes, yes. Like I said, we had a very good system, and we were developed not only physically, but we were doing a lot of things mentally. We had a lot of learning, during our camps, a lot of theory, and I think also with my dad, he was kind of crazy father, teaching me everything, and there was a lot of detail work, because he was a gymnast, former gymnast, and he really liked to explain to me all the important stuff in tennis, the physique, the biomechanics, and all these things, so I think I understood tennis pretty well. But like I said, I needed a little bit more help with the detail kind of work when I was young, and then also probably the fitness part, the mental part, the support, and when I was 24 years old, I had a lot of experience. I was playing a lot of tournaments in my life as a junior, as an ATP player. So I had a lot of experience, but I was still missing the little details and a little help from outside, and I just saw that there is no way that I can go higher in the rankings. Let's say
Yeah,
like top 100, because top 100 is the first goal to reach, so you can actually live out of tennis. And I have seen that without the help is impossible. And then when I started to work as a coach, I did my degree, and I was working with some young talented girls straight away. And I was just giving them the knowledge that I had from my previous life and from the experience, and it was working very well and very fast. The players, they were improving, and I really enjoyed this work because, like I said, it's quite interesting to see when the player has a lot of talent and potential, but not really the knowledge maybe, and not really the support that they need, because it's also very mental, not only physical.
yeah,
So that's what I was trying to achieve.
good. Let me ask you another question. That's great. Let me ask you another question because you've mentioned a couple of things quite regularly. So one is about improvement, and I want to dig into the training of beating rather than the training of getting better. That was one thing. And then my impact upon the second thing you talked about previously about details. And I imagine when push comes to shove and it's all on the line, it is the fine details of mental and tactical and physical and ball striking, etc., that makes you go over the line. So can you put beating versus better and details together in an answer?
So, you know, um, it's very interesting because, you know, the information that I gathered on my way until I was maybe 24 years old as a player, which maybe some in in my times 24 was old. Now it's pretty normal, because most of the players are get older. There is not too many 18, 19 years old men tennis players in the top, because it's getting very physical. And I think my time in the 2000s also, the tennis, they changed and went very physical way. But the thing that what I do is that I speed up the process of improvement by trying to teach the player not to go through own mistakes, but learn, let's say, on other people's mistakes or my mistakes or my experience. So that, I think, it's the goal of a good coach, an experienced coach, to speed up the process of learning by not letting the player do the mistakes and learn on own mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Let me tell you, Confucius had a quote that said, "A fool learns by his own mistakes. A wise man learns from others." So you need to
yes,
make your students wise.
yes, but that's the problem a little bit, because, like I said, I'm not sure, but from my point of view, there is a lot of players probably trying to save money and traveling with parents and traveling alone. And obviously, this is the difficult part of tennis, the financial part, where you're trying to save money and you don't have, enough good people around you. And that's how it is. You are stuck somewhere. You're not improving because you are not getting the right information, and you are learning on your own mistakes, or you're repeating your own mistakes.
Yeah. So, so how do you? Because this is at every level of world 400, 300, 200. And as you say, breaking into the top 100 is thing because then you get some money. But even when you're in the top 100, there are levels and levels and levels. And I
Yes,
reckon they are all decided by a few points.
yes,
It is not about talent and being dominant. This is about clutch, winning 2 points under pressure.
yes, yes, yes. I think this is gonna be a long interview, Mark, because
No,
it's not so easy. It's not so
of
easy.
course, it's
When
not so
I
easy.
when I when I start to work with the player, most of the time they are young. They are out of top 100, sometimes even out of top 200, 300, 400. So, first of all, I evaluate the player. because they are all good. They have potential. They are not starting from zero. I'm not starting with a baby tennis player. I'm starting with a decent junior, let's say. And I need to evaluate technical part. I need to evaluate the physical part and the mental part. The mental part, I think it's the most important for me, because when actually I see that the player is very mentally unstable, I rather not start to work with this player.
Could that be genetics? Could that be their parents and their upbringing and their behavior?
I
Or
think mostly it's the upbringing, where there is too much pressure probably on the kid, and then there is a lot of examples. I don't want to
yeah,
mention any names, but yeah, there is a lot of examples where the parents are pushing too hard, and then the players are breaking down because it's too much pressure. So, and also that it can be also financial pressure. A lot of players, especially coming from the eastern part of Europe, suffer, they
yeah.
it in
But
one way it motivates them. In one way it motivates them because they really are playing to survive, financially, but it's also creating a lot of pressure. So sometimes
yeah,
it's
let me
difficult.
interrupt you there. Just that the majority of Grand Slam champions, male and female, do not come from Grand Slam nations. They come
Yeah.
from nations that don't have Grand Slams, therefore have less money. So are
Yes,
champions, do you think, are they born or can they be grown?
I think there is no way that somebody really can go on the top, and I think that real champions are really having something special, you know. But obviously, there I have seen a lot of champion. I mean, a lot of talented players, a lot of very good players, not making it just because they don't have the right people around. And there is a lot of talent. There is a lot of talent, even in the top 200, 300. But like I said, they do a lot of things not the correct way.
Perhaps
So
they
like
rely on their talent and don't train other things.
exactly. So like I said, they can play some genius shots, and they can win some great matches. But important is that they can do it constantly or more stable in a stable way. And that's where I think that experienced coach or experienced people can help. So like I said, first of all, I evaluate the technical part. Obviously, those players who are good juniors or ranked 200, 300, 400, they have already developed a solid game. They usually have some good parts and bad parts. So they have some weapons and they have some shots that they need to improve. So that's what I mean. What I want to say, that I'm not only developing the bad shots, but I'm also developing the weapons and trying to build the game, which suits the player.
Okay.
Right. That's number one. And then number two is the mental part, because most of the time, or majority of the time, these players, they really don't have high confidence. They are not really believing that they can beat a top 100 player or top 50 player. So it's a step by step improvement, and the technical part, physical part, and the mental part, it always goes together. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
And mental will include identity and love of pressure and things like that.
Well, I have been working with different types of players. Some players, they played best when they were losing. Actually, most of the players because they engage. They feel let's say under pressure, and then they kind of, like I said, play for survival. That those are the very dangerous players. And then obviously I had some players who were very negative when they were losing, and they were um, you know kind of giving up, or let's say not happy with themselves, like feeling not worthy to be where they are. And they're very nice people. They're very nice girls, let's say. but they don't have this fire. Like there is no way I'm gonna lose, you know. So I was trying, you know, to deal with all the players, because I would, like, let's say, I would say some of the players, I would motivate them to play from the first ball to the last ball, not wait until they are 3-1 down, 4-1 down, and then engage. And then also those players who were putting themselves down, uh, I was teaching them that there is no, you know, nobody is perfect. So there is, even the opponent can have some bad moments, and you cannot win every point, and you cannot play perfect every time, because that's also the one thing that a lot of these players, they are perfectionist, right? But
Yeah.
they're perfectionist in the wrong way, you know.
It's a disease. That
I,
doesn't
I
help you.
always say, I say that, you know, they are perfectionists because they want to win every point. So they see the situation only black and white. So when they win the point, everything is great. When they lose the point, everything is bad. But I try to explain to these players that, you know, you may lose the point and play correctly. You were either unlucky and you missed the ball by a couple of inches, centimeters, or the opponent read your game and the player, the opponent played some very, let's say, fantastic contra shot, and you lost the rally, but it was not a bad rally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they need to learn, you know, how to analyze the game. And then I'm always saying, you are making good mistakes and bad mistakes, right? Bad mistakes means when you serve and your serve goes 2 meters out or in the half of the net. That's a big mistake, and you need to analyze your motion, so you're not making such a big mistake. If you make a small mistake, that means the serve was good. You just need to adjust a little bit, maybe a little bit higher toss, a little bit more wrist, depending on, you know, the mistake you make. You know, so this is the thing that also they need to learn, how to analyze themselves, and how to analyze the situation, and how to analyze the opponent as well. Many
Okay.
times they don't even look at the other side, you know, and see that maybe the opponent is struggling, or physically or mentally. Let's take advantage of it. So these are the little nuances, these are the little details. And then, like I said, this is the mental part, and then there is
Yeah.
the technical part, you know.
So do you think there is a difference when you are 40, 30 up serving for the match and pressure is kicking in and thoughts about success and victory and trophies and money? And do you think there's a difference there? And if so, how do you train it?
There is a difference, but also, first of all, everything is experience, you know. Like when you are a young boy or girl, and you go to school, and you have a homework, or you have to learn something, and then you need to, you know, the teacher calls you in front of the classroom, and you have to, you know, in front of the classroom, you have to do the homework or whatever. And when you are young, you feel nervous, you know. You are sometimes trembling, sometimes you have the blackout because you're very nervous. I think the actors, you know, when there is young actors, they also have this problem. They get nervous. So I think everything comes with experience. And like I said, you know, my goal is to speed up the experience. You know, so
Yeah.
when we are practicing, and my players get to these situations, I'm trying to teach them, you know, how to deal with it. What are the best options? You know, sometimes they want to serve big on the match point, and then they make a mistake, and then they are under pressure from the second serve. So I'm teaching them, you know, that the obviously you can try once, but when it doesn't happen, and you have, for example, the second match point, then play smart. You know, change the rhythm, put serve a kick. You know, attack the weakness. Doesn't have to be a big serve. These are the things that, you know, sometimes they want to close the match too quickly. I'm telling them, you know, be ready for the rally, play the rally. You know, if there is a you know, if they return your serve, don't rush for the winners, don't rush to win the match. Play more cross court, put more spin on the ball. So these are the things that, you know, the
This is very
percentage
good.
tennis. Yeah. So they're prepared and they are not thinking only about the result, because then the result makes them actually freeze. You know, the situation, the score makes them freeze. And you know, what I like to teach them is also that, you know, whatever game it is, if it's the first game or last game, and even you are 40 love up or 40-15 up, don't think that the match or the game is yours, you know, because tennis is very fast game, especially now the professional tennis is getting very, very fast, the balls, the hitting and everything. So what I'm trying to teach them, that it's, even it's 40 love, don't relax, don't experiment too much, because you can make one mistake, and then the opponent play one fantastic shot, and it's 40-30, and 40-30 is already pressure. So
Yeah.
better play discipline on 40 love, better play 40-15 discipline. You know, don't try to invent some crazy shots, or you know, something which is out of the game plan, and just, you know, be disciplined and go through it.
You've covered a lot of gold already here. So the nub of the question is, can you shortcut experience? Because most people learn by getting into these positions and losing, and then thinking, what can I do better?
Exactly.
Can you shortcut experience?
Like I said, that's you know, my specialty, and I would never. I'm 48 years old, and I would never really say that it would be possible what I have done with a lot of players, and I still don't believe it. I still don't
You
believe
still?
it.
Okay.
I still don't believe it, but it's happening. It's happening,
Okay.
and you know, like I probably took 3 or 4 players in the last 20 years from 400, 200 to top 50, top 20 in the world.
It is amazing.
And
That's an
and
extraordinary statistic.
yes, and you know, like I'm really very committed. I'm traveling to all tournaments. You know, we are trying to watch a lot of videos. I'm trying to do a lot of theory. Sometimes maybe in the beginning people would say that it's too much, but I always say yes, it's too much, because you are learning and you have to be like a sponge. And then, you know, obviously after 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you know, I will probably talk less, because if I succeed with my information and my coaching, and you're learning, because that's also the other part, that's, you know, sometimes they're listening but they're not learning, so it's important you are learning, so I don't have to talk so much, so I don't have to
Yeah.
give you so many information, and maybe we can move to another subject. We can improve the serve and volley or return volley game, or you know, some other things. So this is important, and sometimes the players, they forget to learn. They are listening, and I'm just telling them, guys, I don't want to make a monkey out of you who is doing things because I say do this, do that. You know what I mean? I want you to
Yeah.
learn, and I want you to remember, because then you play the Wimbledon semifinals or quarterfinals, and the court is big. I am not able to tell you all the time what you need to do. You need to do the correct decisions on your own, and that's how, you know, you can win Grand Slams, right?
So perhaps you become a bit like your father as a fantastic head teacher.
Well, yes. I mean, obviously, like I said, you know, I thank him for a lot, because he was really very focused on detail and learning and discipline, you know. So obviously, but also he was too demanding and too tough on me, and it was putting a lot of pressure on me. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to, let's say, you know, teach the player the right things, the correct things, but also I'm trying to do it in a way so I don't put any pressure on them. It's their
Yeah.
decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For you, just to sum up what we've said so far, and I know it's very late there in Melbourne, so thank you very much. It's approaching the midnight hour. Um, so everything obviously about winning and losing when it's tight and it's match point is nuance. But you're saying there's a lot of detail, a lot of learning that needs to go into the nuance of just winning a couple more points. It's not really about technique and ball striking, although obviously that needs to be sound.
Yes. It needs to be sound, Mark. You know, like
You need to trust it, as
You
Djokovic
cannot
would
you
say.
cannot have you honestly you cannot have big technical problems. But I think the technical part is the least of the problems, because
Okay.
like you said that, I think the mental part is the most important. And the decision making under pressure, and the decision making under time pressure, because you have to decide in milliseconds, and you have to react to the ball, and you need to react to the height of the ball, to the spin of the ball, to the speed of the ball, to the angle of the ball. So there is so many things that your brain has to evaluate in very short time.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like I said, there is a talent, because also you have to have the talent. Not everybody has the hand and eye coordination, but also it has to be a discipline, because sometimes I would say good players, they are able to predict. It's not only about being fit and being fast, but you have to predict, and you have to push your opponent to play shots that you expect, right? So many times I'm saying, after the serve, a lot of girls or a lot of players after second serve, they're trying to attack cross court. Yeah. So if you serve to the forehand, it's forehand cross court. If it's backhand, it's backhand cross court, because it's the easier shot. It's the easier shot, and obviously they try to make pressure. So this is one thing, that you don't have to be so fast, but after the serve, if you cover the correct spots, you are there, right? And then you have also different players. So now it's about tactics. So for example, Maria Sharapova, she would always attack down the line. She would always attack down the line, second serve. And for example, when I was coaching one of my girls, Sibulkova, she was playing Maria in the quarterfinals of Roland Garros. And I told her, like, Dominica, just after second serve, run, cover the line, and just go big cross court. And the score was 6-0, 6-2 for Sibulkova, and
Wow.
she was everywhere. So like these are the ways, also, like, with the tactics. If you know the players, and if you know what are their favorite shots, you can block these favorite shots. And then the players, they kind of lose the advantage of surprising with those shots, and then they start to struggle, because they need to come with the game plan B, C, and it's different. So yeah, I mean, like I said, this could be a very long interview, but
Yeah, no, well, we won't, because we'll be courteous to you. But
I'm good. I can talk about tennis hours. So
I love
so
speaking to you, Vlado. We don't want to get into detail about
yeah,
Lulu because that's unfair. But
yeah,
she's come a long way in a short space of time. And
yes.
what do you think about the Australian Open? How would you define
Well,
success for Lulu? Which doesn't
yeah,
mean how many rounds she goes deep.
yeah. Last year was a little bit unlucky, the finish of the year, because Lulu got injured at the U.S. Open. She slipped. It was raining a little bit, in the evening, and she was also coming tired from other tournaments, which is with a player like Lulu coming from 220 into top 40 after less than 7 months was unbelievable. And
Yeah, extraordinary.
obviously also her body, and she was not used to it, but there is a lot of pressure, because you have to play Olympics, you have to play the US Open, you have to play the tournaments to improve the rankings. And yeah, I mean, this was a little bit unlucky, but I think that Lulu is okay now. She's pain free, and what we are trying to do is to try to come back. She didn't play matches since almost September, yeah, September last year. So it's a little bit difficult for her, but I don't want to jinx it. But she's looking okay. We played a lot of sparring matches with the girls now for the last 2-3 weeks, and she's looking pretty good now.
Does she
So
have a skill when it's all on the line and the pressure and the tension is? Does she have a
yeah,
skill to win
yeah.
that point?
Last year, we were learning a lot. We had, a good start. Then in March we were a little bit struggling. She was a little bit negative, putting too much pressure on herself, trying to be too much perfect. Then we learned, that, like I said, you cannot win every ball, and just you have to fight every ball. You don't have to think you have to win every ball, but fight every ball until the last point. We work a lot on the technical part, tactical part, and the mental part was pretty good. I can say, because in March I was a little bit worried, but she managed it well, and then she won $100,000 tournament in US, and she kind of started to believe. She played a lot of tournaments, so we were able, like, to play a lot of matches and build up the experience, the technique, the mental part. And then obviously in Wimbledon, she was playing beautifully. And after that, she played finals in Monterrey. So like I said, we didn't play too many WTA events because we had to play the smaller tournaments because of her ranking. But
Yeah.
last year was good because from the beginning of the year, we could build up the game and play a lot of matches.
Yeah.
This year it's different because, like I said, she was injured. Now she's trying to get back in, and now she doesn't have the how do you call it, um, uh, now she has to play top 100 players from the first round. You know what I mean? Like last year,
Yeah.
she would play some girls maybe ranked 300, 200, 400 in the smaller events. So even she would not play her best, she could still win, and she could still learn and improve for the next match. Here, the difference is that you're playing top 100, top 50 girls in the first round, and you have to be ready. And if you are not playing your best, you lose, and then you don't get the chance to play the next round. So
Yeah.
this
Probably
is
my
this is
last
a little bit
question
different.
for you then.
Okay.
Because my last question, because I'm conscious about time.
Hmm.
Uh, and I don't want you saying in the future, no, I won't talk to you, because we always talk for 2 hours. This is about experience and belief. So I would argue, and you can obviously disagree, that when she finds somebody that she's playing, top 40, top 30, and it all goes to the wire, when it goes to the wire, I would say the person that has the most belief will find a way to win. How do you train belief as part of experience or training?
That's what I said. That we played so many matches, and there were so many close matches, and luckily also ITF and WTA, they changed the rules, and I am able to actually tell Lulu even during the matches the right tactics. She started to believe, because when she was using the right tactics, and she was using the right shot selection, she was succeeding, right? So she was taking this from one match to another, and she was improving all these things, and she was, in the rhythm, because she was, like I said, she was playing a lot of matches, and she was, beating a lot of good players. So she was picking up. She was picking up quickly, how to play in those situations, the smart, intelligent, um, way, the percentage game, which I don't, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And the difference is that, like most of the girls who are not developed correctly, or who maybe are also, some of them, they don't want to listen, they would go like the risky way. So they would go down the line in the big moments from the first shot, and that's a casino. So they would win some, but most of the time they would lose, because you cannot go down the line winner flat shot from a 180 kilometers first serve, right? If you make this shot, it's most of the time it's a lucky shot. So
yeah,
she learned, how to play in this situation, what kind of strategy to use in those situations, and she was winning a lot of matches, 7-6 in the third set, and a lot of matches in the third set. But like you said, she went the moment she beat good players and she was feeling a chance, she believed, right? But it was developed. It was developed by, long-term work, long-term discussions, and watching videos and explaining and so on and so on, and believing also in me, because obviously the player has to believe the coach. But I think, when she start winning, most of the girls that I work with, obviously when they start winning, then obviously our relationship became very good, because they want to win, and then with the advice and knowledge that I was giving them, they were winning. So most of the time the cooperation was very good.
Great. I'm just going to finish and throw it over to you. So in the military, if I just equate trust with belief, which is pretty
Yeah,
similar, there was always trust in yourself, trust in your shots, trust in your team, and trust in your processes. And what you
exactly.
talked about today is all of that. This is how you build belief and trust when it's all on
Yes.
the line. So when they throw the coin up in the edge, the toss of the coin, you're saying it's not necessarily a 50-50 on how it lands.
No, it is not. Obviously, it is about good day and bad day. Because, like I said, tennis is very, very fast, but still you have a lot of opportunities to turn the match in your favor if you follow the right things, in the match.
Bless you. Vlado, look, it's always a joy to speak to you. I get your passion and your enthusiasm. You've been going around the world 11 months of the year for 20 odd years now.
Yes.
You're still looking young. I don't know how you do it.
Me too.
Look, fantastic. Good luck to you and Lulu for the next
Thank you.
couple of weeks. And
Thank you.
hopefully I'll see you in your European tour.
Thank you. Thank you,
Cheers,
man.
man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye, everybody.
And have a good night.
Yes. Bye bye.